Disclaimer. Fair use act. Education purpose use only. All rights, images, and music clips and belong to their prospective owner, and we do not claim ownership. And I'm gonna let everybody get in here so y'all can see. Oh, Trey Gang put some mean videos together back in the day, and it all made sense now. I'm gonna wait till a couple of people get up in this chat. Cause y'all already know what time it is. So when I show y'all this video that I made years ago and the thing that we discovered now, won't it make sense why Kenneka was in the position that she was in, and that's the reason why she would end up in the freezer at the Crown Plaza Hotel? Like, share, subscribe right now. Cause you know Trey Gang ain't playing. Man, I swear I ain't playing with these folks, but this ain't even nothing to play with, man. These folks some real people, bro. They some real demons. Man, they on demon time. But I'm gonna mute my microphone and I'm gonna just play this video. And once the video ends, drop your comment in your chat and let me know what you think. Was Trey Gang was lying? Did Trey Gang show it to you? Did Trey Gang expose the liars, the demons, and all? I ain't got to say no more. I'll go live later on tomorrow, y'all. I'm gonna go live later on tomorrow, y'all, and I'm gonna pick up where I left off at. But in the meantime, y'all, yeah, watch this video.
Hey guys, 2 minutes on pallor mortis, and this is the first stage of death. So pallor mortis is the paling of the body. So about 15 minutes after someone dies is when you might first start noticing the paleness. And this happens because the blood is no longer circulating in the body. And so the blood gravitates away from the exterior of the skin and the top portion of the skin, and so the skin appears pale. This does happen in bodies of people with darker skin. The melanin does not change within the skin, but the redness does dissipate and fade away. And so with embalming, that redness is then restored. But so the pallor mortis is on that exterior top portion of the skin because that blood is pooling down towards the bottom, or whichever area is on the bottom of the person. What happens also during pallor mortis is a thin film starts going over the cornea of the eyes. Now, sometimes when people have even brown eyes, they appear to then have blue eyes. So there is a common conception that everybody gets blue eyes when they die because of this pallor mortis that sets in and covers over the eyes. This sets in usually about 2 hours after death. However, it also depends whether the eyes are open or the eyelids are shut as to how soon you can notice this on the eyes. So pallor mortis, 2 minutes, that is the first stage of death. Okay, so we're going to do 2 minutes on algor mortis, which is the second stage of death. This happens right before rigor mortis begins. And this sets in almost immediately. The body begins to cool down, and that's what this process is. Now, if someone dies in, let's say, the desert, their body's actually going to heat up to the ambient temperature. However, in most standard cases, a person's body temperature is going to lower until it reaches the ambient stage. So if someone's put into the cooler at the hospital within an hour or two of death, their body is going to cool until they reach that much cooler ambient stage of the cooler that they are inside of. Now, a body loses the heat through 3 different means: convection, conduction, and radiation. It begins in the extremities of the body, so the toes, the hands, the head are all going to cool down faster than the rest, and it works its way into the core. So you see on like NCIS where they stick in the liver probe to test the temperature of the body right away when Ducky comes in. Well, more often than not, they may use a rectal thermometer to check the temperature, but you can also use a hypodermic needle in the liver or in the brain to check the temperature as well. Investigators will use this to determine time of death or an approximate time of death. So ambient temperature is critical, conditions of where the body is, what they're wrapped in, what their setting is, are all critical to figure out what the temperature of the body actually is. So this is all rigor mortis, second stage of death. Bye. Hey, here's your 2-minute introduction to rigor mortis. So rigor mortis is that hardening of the body or the firming of the body. This sets in 2 to 3 hours after death. Fast forward 24 to 36 hours after death, and the rigor mortis has gone away. Now, the muscles have not just relaxed. What has happened is that decomposition has begun, and it's gone into the tissue, and so the tissues in your body are starting to decompose at that point. What creates rigor mortis? It is a protein reaction that happens within the muscle. So it has nothing to do with your bones itself. So what happens is the myosin and the actin connect in your muscles to create a contraction. As you breathe and create oxygen, it creates something called ATP, which busts those apart normally. Well, when you're not breathing, you're not creating oxygen, there's no ATP, so they remain locked. So your muscles remain in a locked position. Now, if you're in a very vigorous activity and there's a lot of oxygen going on and you die quickly, your body goes into a cadaveric spasm. And so parts of your body can lock up. We see this sometimes in hands that are locked or mouths that are locked. And so the funeral director does what's called breaking of the rigor. And this happens with anybody that has rigor in it. Sometimes it's just bending out of an arm or bending of a shoulder or moving of the legs. The more rigor we break up, or the more proteins we can break down within a muscle tissue, the more embalming fluid can go out into those tissues.
With that being said, you ain't got no more questions. But like, if she was in the freezer, how they got her body scratch on the gurney? So if you really paying attention to what this actually basically saying, whoa, Kenneka got rigor mortis, and what time this gonna be after death? And you go back to that footage. Once you go back to that footage, you don't think that's why you seen that detective dude had to stall with the missing person report with living up? Man, this shit crazy. I want to see how many people paying attention to the Kenneka Jenkins case when it comes to the timestamp. Cause look, the times, y'all know how they gave us a timestamp in this skill, and they gave us a confusion. But once you figure out what's going on, timestamp our best friend right now. Guess what it's revealing? Look what the timestamp revealing. Check this out. This is just to show you, oh, if you ain't paying attention, you won't even know why her body in this positioning. Oh, and then it's gonna tell you like, oh, so that's what time they're gonna have to flip the body. Cause if you flip the body and tamper with the body, guess how you gonna tell at the crime scene? Whoa. Lord Jesus, have mercy. I swear to God, these people go to school for this and got an education on her, and they can break this shit down to you in a 5-minute segment video, and you got your degree. It's like the Matrix, like, you know, you could download, if you want to be a coroner, right? Check this out. You could watch some videos and transform like Leonardo did, you know what I'm talking about, in the Matrix and stuff. Man, if you want to fix your car or something, you don't know what's going on and you ain't got the money, watch my YouTube video. I bet you'll come up candy. Yeah. So you mean to tell me it's 5 minutes in the video? Check this out. 5 minutes in the video, do you hear the narrative? That's when Trey gang, check this out. And this is zip tie around her neck around about this time. And if you look how the way the body positioning, check this out. Don't you know your body? Just say, if I was on top of Kenneka right now, and I'm putting a zip tie around her neck, right? And I'm putting a zip tie around her neck, and she fight for her life. She grabbing her neck. Then she got her arm clenched, you know what I'm saying? Look, she got one hand around the neck. Bam, watch this. And she got the other arm right there where her jeans was. Like, please don't do this to me, you know what I'm saying? And guess what that person did? They was fighting, and the temperature, it was in the room, it got hot. So just say if you die rapidly, you could actually die in this situation. So that means a person was up on top of you, bam, 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 and everything got so heated in the moment, and you died actually in this position after the assault, after the other thing that came with it. And guess what you can do? Flip the body and say, yeah, she was laid face down in the freezer. But if you look at the timestamp, when they go back to rigor mortis, this the worst thing the police would have ever did. They gave you pictures. They said she was in the freezer for 21 hours. And she was in the freezer for 21 hours. Guess what you don't see on the crime scene? No bowel movements. Oh, no decomposed, body decay. None of that. Perfectly deserved. Even if she was in the cooler, even she was in the cooler, and it happened in the cooler, you still preserve evidence, right? Still preserve evidence. So basically, what I'm showing y'all right now. If you think like a morgue, you could think like a funeral home. That's the crazy part about it, because a funeral home director can tell you, oh, I could tell you exactly with this image. This is like a car wreck. Like, damn, I could tell you how motherfucker crashed in this jump. I can show you how somebody, you know, it look like somebody tail swiped that junk, spun you around, you know what I'm saying? That's why your front rear end did the too, because whatever it is, it had to been, I'm looking at the damage, you know what I'm talking about? Real talk. We talking about timestamp here, about Kenneka. And you got detective walking in the hotel at 8 something with freezer keys. With freezer keys. Instead of Miss Teresa saying there was detective, she said an employee. Cause he is an employee working for security, but he's a detective. That's cold-blooded to me. That's cold-blooded to me. So when you look at this crime scene, no wonder why it looks so clean in her, don't it? Boy, don't it look so clean in her? Man, ain't no struggle happening in her. I wouldn't even be surprised this how she would land in the pool area. See what I'm saying? Cause check this out. This how she would be in that pool area. And they left her in that pool area today. Man, look, till we get the freezer key. And guess what time Trey Gang said? Look, when they looking at the video show, y'all, what time the front desk got the freezer key. Man, I'm about to cry over her, bro. Man, I'm about to cry over her, bro. All over again. Cause when I watched that footage before I found all this shit out, Man, this shit was blowing my mind. I'm like, man, something going down, man. And then the front desk even cried. When I watched that footage, when I seen the front desk cry, bro, I cried with that brother, bro. Cause I'm like, man, that man watching that motherfucker footage, and I'm like, man, it had to been a death blow. It had to been a death blow, bro. Look, watch how time is on your side right now. No more talking for me.
So we're not actually breaking a bone. We are just moving the joints, moving the muscles to break up that protein so we can get fluids out into them. Now, rigor mortis sets in quicker when there's heat or when there's less muscle tissue, like in a child or an elderly, and it takes longer in somebody that is has more fat or when it's colder. So post your questions below. That's 2 minutes on rigor. Bye, guys. Hey, so we got 2 minutes on liver mortis, and that's liver with an O, not an E, and this is the 4th stage of death. This comes right after rigor mortis, and this happens about 2 to 4 hours after death. So
2 to 4 hours after death. So think about this. If she walked in that lobby, meeting up with dude, calculate to 2 to 4 hours later. That's how you finna solve this crime scene. Yeah, that's how you finna solve that crime scene. Look what time rigor mortis gonna settle in. So you know what this finna prove? That girl was still wet. And this finna show you, man, they just brought that girl out the pool. You even see the water beads. The girl is still wet. Whoa, so guess what they're telling you? When they put her in the body bag, right? She was already in rigor mortis stage. So they gave you a timestamp with like, damn, she came up missing around 1 some, 2, 3. Oh, that's 2 hours. 4 and 5. Oh, man. And then when you go back on the footage and be like, okay, I know what rigor mortis started from. You know what I'm saying? And I know what timestamp when the body died. I know the 1st stage of death, 2nd stage of death, 3rd stage of death, 4th stage of death.
So liver mortis is the settling of the blood in the body. So when the heart stops pumping, gravity takes effect and the blood starts gravitating to the lowest points. So whether a person is laying or sitting, that blood is going to pool down to the lowest parts of the body and to the lowest parts of the organs. So you'll notice a purpling or a reddening at those lowest points. Up to 12 hours, it's called non-fixed. And that means that the blood can hopefully get recirculated and out of those tissues so you don't see that staining. After 12 hours, they say it's fixed. So there may be staining of the tissue that we cannot get moving again during embalming. And so there may be darkening of those areas that blood is pulled in. This is especially noticeable if someone has died face down or on their side, and that tissue in the face is stained from the blood settling into it, and we can't get that color circulated out. So this is also called hypostasis or postmortem lividity, and you may hear postmortem lividity especially in crime shows and in movies. This is important for crime shows and movies because if a body is in one position and then moved, they can tell because that blood will have pooled in one area, and then if the body's moved, it will pool in a secondary area as well. So, liver mortis, stage 4 of death, pooling of the blood. Bye, guys.
Pulling of the blood. And you see she on the bed, zip tied around her neck.
Ladies and gentlemen. starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Live.
125. Whoa, 125. And guess what you see on the footage now? Boy, this shit hit real different. Boy, you see how this shit hit different now? 125, she in the lobby. Just left out the lobby. And you know you got police on deck too? Yeah.
Of videos and could delete it at anything. The footage started getting deleted once her mother arrived at the hotel looking for her. So this means the owners or the police are not covering up for an employee. Okay, so I get Rosemont this. They probably not covering up for the employee. You understand what I'm saying? The owners or the police of Rosemont probably not covering up for an employee. They are honestly believing that the employee, which is the security, and the edited videos, and the employee shows them because they just by looking at the videos, you know. If something happened and you call the cops, it's a fight, it's a disturbance in my hotel, boom, we're gonna think logical. The cops gonna come on the scene, right? Boom. The first motherfuckers they gonna ask to speak to is who? The security. Because the security controls what? The cameras, the tapes, the footage, the security. They not gonna ask to speak to the manager for what? You at the front desk, you don't see what's going on these cameras. The security has all the access. The security. Think about that. When the cops came, they went right to the security and showed us the tapes. They showed them the tapes, all of it edited. They took them out. Oh yeah, she walked in there by herself. So now the cops thinking, oh, she was drunk, she was intoxicated, she's a black girl, she's at a party, drugs involved. She did it by herself. So now the fucking security's off. Oh my God, we got off. That's how they thinking they got off. You understand what I'm saying? Hold on, let me break it down a little bit more.
Been at the computer watching the monitor. Now who fell asleep? Because when you seen her there, it should have sent an alert off where we got somebody down here in an unrestricted area.
What time on the video was she? What did it show? What time she got in there?
Yeah, they got the time on there. I got to look back on my file. I got those in the car.
Okay.
I got to look back on that. But I commend the police department out there. They not rushing to judgment. They looking at time on everything. They showed me time on the cameras, time here. They done ordered everything, even outside technicians to come in, because when they give it out, they want to give it out by the time and the minute.
Also breaking tonight, hours of new video are released revealing more about a woman found dead in a hotel freezer. CBS 2's Audrina Bigas joins us now. So you poured through this video. What is it showing us?
36 hours of video, and this was just released just a few hours ago. This video shows Kenneka Jenkins walking into the kitchen, but we never see her entering the freezer. And tonight, that is why her family is not satisfied with the theory that she walked into the freezer on her own. Surveillance video shows Kenneka Jenkins walking with friends at the Crown Plaza Hotel early Saturday morning. We see her a few hours later by herself. At one point, she stumbles out of an elevator. Later, she repeatedly hits the wall walking down this hallway.
Not only that, it wasn't until Bree got back that they even started to look for her. Come on, y'all. Make that shit make sense to me. It don't make sense. I was expecting them to be like, yeah, you know, we called Bree because we couldn't find Kenneka. Like, girl, where you at? When you coming back? We can't find Kenneka. None of that. You know, or even Bree saying like, yeah, you know, Monifa.
There's nothing, man. And he was in the room when they first started looking for, like when they first came back in, like we said, it was like everybody they didn't hit everybody yet. They called the room and they was like, yeah, you got a group of girls in going around the hotel. They're causing a big disturbance. You need to get those girls back in the room, or we're gonna have to put them out.
What?
Like, what? You're like, dude, are y'all serious?
Our friend is missing, and y'all talking about the disturbance that's going on.
It's a disturbance. They making noise.
So the misconception on social media is that motherfuckers didn't go look for her. When the truth is, everybody went looking for her.
There wasn't a lot of people, like 6 of us.
Six left.
In the end, every motherfucker was on the end. There wasn't a lot of motherfuckers.
But everybody
That's how everybody got up and like once it hit, like when it hit home, like everybody like everybody they got with that serious face, like it snapped into us. It looks like we everywhere, part of we looking around.
you have.
Looking at the reports today and some of the redacted stuff, which tells me it was like reports that were Freedom of Information Acted or things of that nature, but the Cook County reports that I got are pretty disturbing to me. Now, one of the things that brought a lot of attention to me, or things that perked my interest, were when the family was on the Dr. Oz show. And some more footage of Kenneka here, walking down the hall. And during that Dr. Oz interview, Nancy Grace specifically asked why hadn't they checked her fingernails for DNA. Well, according to these reports, they did. And for whatever reason, they didn't publish that or make it public. Now that's a concern for me. Now here's another concern for me. Now, in reports, I can understand that the police are trying to secure a crime scene, so to speak, right? You can do that with tape. Now, it was never addressed by Roosevelt, or Cook County, for that matter, if this wooden door was there before or after the incident. And I haven't found anything online with basic searches, and that's kind of concerning to me, especially where you can see it's zip tied. But do you see this right here? That shit glows in the dark, man. This shit right there glows. And the only reason why I know that, shout out to everybody that's ever worked like a minimum wage job if you were a kid. And now look, I'm almost 40, and I can remember that knob 20 years ago. And I can remember being at Wendy's or whatever, Long John Silver's, that's what it was. Long John Silver's, like 20 years ago, and getting out the freezer by pushing that button. Here's another discrepancy I found in the video, right? Something else that was missing. Now, this is an air conditioning box, right? Now, that should clearly be shown. Now, there's a couple of things that have been missing on the ceiling. Now, Kenneka's mother said that there was a camera in front of the freezer. Now, supposedly, all of a sudden, that camera's not there. Not only is that missing, but this AC box is missing. Go back and look at the video with the cop with the body cam walking through. You don't see it. Now, for me, that's a concern. Now, in the paperwork that I got, now it's digital files. It's not like they don't FedEx me friggin' paperwork, all right? According to the paperwork, they did find DNA under Kenneka's left hand. Like, almost, not a defensive wound, but like skin. They found, now, I don't think Kenneka was a girl that was like scratching her scalp or some shit, and if that was the case, then why don't you just come out with that? Why did you hold that back If that's in your initial report or your notes, why haven't you published that? That's a concern for me. That sounds like somebody didn't want something to know what was going on. Now, here's the thing. Now, listen. Now, there's other documents in there about who Kenneka may have been talking to outside in her personal life, and I really don't want to get into that because I don't want to disrespect that woman or her family. But I will say this. It wouldn't surprise me that if Kenneka had relations or been dealing with somebody that had something that had to deal with some kind of power in Cook County, if something didn't happen, somebody intentionally gave her something in her drink and made sure she went that way. Because why else would she go into the kitchen, right? 0.11? Yeah, okay, 0.08 is drunk. You can go to jail for that. But 0.03 over the legal limit doesn't make you walk like you're like 9 levels of fucked up. I'm sorry. That shit don't make no sense. So, in the documents, staff, and according to video before the incident, when they time-lapse the video back, this mark is not on the wall. Okay? Now, this is the mark from Roosevelt Police, right there. Bloop. Okay? And here is the mark from the footage from the hotel. Now, according to hotel staff and the report, a report filed by said police department, and this is part of the stuff that was leaked out by Anonymous, or shot my way. I'm sure I'm not the only one that got it. This wasn't there before, so that would indicate signs of a struggle at some point.
The best friend down here. Check this out. If you look at this footage, Kenneka would be getting beaten up while her best friend would be going to the murder area. That's why she gonna end up in the pool area. And they had to move her from the pool area, and her body was going through rigor mortis stages. The first stage, the second stage. So check this out. When they actually took the picture in the freezer, guess what time that really was? Woo-wee! That's why I say a funeral home director could be your best friend, because you could show him look. Wow! Remember that? So when that lady told y'all when is gonna be the first stage of death? When the second stage of death, if this body showing this sign, that means this is second stage of death. If this body showing this sign, third stage of death. If a person moved this body, you know what I'm talking about. So look at this. Whoa. So basically, you got a timestamp when they put her in the freezer.
Now, there's also lapses in video that the hotel hasn't released. Now, that could be the police department and or the prosecutor or the district attorney in that area saying not to release that footage, or they didn't release that footage on purpose, depending on who else is in that footage. They also didn't release the DNA report that they ran on a Starbucks cup that was found in the kitchen. Interesting. Why that wouldn't be released if you ran it. I don't understand that. It also came in the paperwork that I got. It doesn't name a person, and usually that's not how that works. But here's my concern. These reports, the documents, supposedly come from Cook County. And they also come from the police department. Why haven't these documents, if the police department or your coroner, if they detected signs of a struggle, why wasn't that put into a report? that was made public. Why, when you did the autopsy and you got, this drives me so nuts. As soon as you found a foreign substance in her bloodstream, you should have immediately gone over the entire body. I'm not an ME. I'm not a medical examiner. Yeah, under the left hand, fingernails, index and middle finger, and you didn't run that DNA? What are you doing? What did you do with the evidence that you collected? That's insane.
Cause the police DNA
ask some questions.
the body.
And I gotta know, yo, why didn't you release these reports? I gotta put these reports in their face with the names of the people that are on them and ask, why didn't you publish this? Why didn't you talk?
So look, that's why Miss Teresa ain't concerned about the DNA. She wanna know why y'all didn't take fingerprints. And the whole time, they took DNA, fingerprints, and everything. Guess why they didn't release it? Cause of the police. They DNA is on the freezer and on her body. The same person that zip tied her neck is the same person that zip tied the goddamn wooden door. And that's why he said, if you read the reports, you got the question, when the wooden doors was installed? Cause they weren't there before. You see what I'm saying? Now that's a concern to me. So check this out. You think they finna cover up some DNA that's linking back to the room? No, that's what they want. Yeah, that's what they want. I want DNA of you suckers in the room, but they can't do that because they let you know, guess who touched the body? The police. Guess who was last with the body? The police. So this whole video is really exposing Miss Teresa and the whole cover up. Cause guess what Miss Teresa did? Played dumb. Y'all say y'all didn't take no DNA. Why? And it's a crime scene. I believe Rosemont Police Department helped kill my child, and that's in the paperwork. That's in the paperwork. Don't you know how many coolers they had in the paperwork before they said, yeah, she was in this freezer? And that's why Mr. Teresa said, yeah, where that camera at? But the whole time you actually seeing the camera, you seeing two different freezers on the camera. They got you looking left, but you should have been looking right. Cold game. Cold game. I'm gonna play the video, y'all.
Talk about this. How am I getting this from an hacktivist group? Why is a hacker sending me this shit and you're not taking this, or you haven't publicly come out with this? Why is this woman's mother like asking for questions and me? you sending stuff to me, and I'm sure it's not just me though. I'm sure Anonymous sent it to other people too. So I might not be the only one doing a video on this today.
So why nobody ain't reach out to Miss Teresa and sent her this shit? And they reaching, and Miss Teresa ain't had nothing to do with this shit. Why they gotta reach out to people to like, look, man, look, this the best friend. Look. Ooh, wee.
Another camera catches her running into a stairwell and then catching her fall. Video time codes appear to show Kenneka roaming the hotel for over an hour.
She's trying to find her way, and no one from Crown Plaza Hotel responds to her.
They want now theory is telling you, oh man, she gotta be deceased round about that time, cause once you get to the second hour, that's when rigor mortis gonna settle in. So look at it like this, girl. They entertaining you with this footage right here, and the whole time, look at the position of Kenneka's body will be in. Whoa. boy, ain't if you think like the police do and cover up a murder scene, oh yeah, we need to cover up for at least 3 to 4 hours. We need to cover up for at least 3 to 4 hours. And guess how they're gonna
Also
do?
considering a second autopsy. Rob and Erica, that's because there's still a lot of unanswered questions tonight.
You know, it's curious because we heard that the authorities were going to show the family the 36 hours of surveillance tape, but clearly they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, they said they had not seen that video, and they've been requesting it for about 48 hours.
All right, Audrina, thank you.
But 12 hours, they end up finding her body in a freezer in an area that was under construction.
From what I recall, Larry Rogers, when she was found dead from hypothermia inside an industrial type refrigerator there in the bottom of a pretty high-end hotel, her pants were pulled down around her hips. Her shirt was pulled up around her bra. Her jeans were filthy, as if she had been dragged along the ground. There were abrasions to her knee area, her legs, her face. There is no way this is accidental.
Around 3:30 a.m., Kenneka enters a lower-level kitchen in the hotel. She walks out of frame, but then she's captured walking here on another camera, but we still don't see her entering the freezer.
So if you still in the dark, right, this what's going on. This what you actually seeing. when they said they took DNA, it gonna link back to the police. Guess who that is? Guess who that is? This so crazy. This shit is so crazy. That's the police, bro. That's the police. He was never a sheriff. No, nobody ain't gonna believe me when I say that. Watch this. So once you watch that whole footage, I swear it will hit different. You see what time this is? Guess what time this actually is? 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning. Don't this hit different at 3:39 in the morning? Guess what the news said? She walked in the freezer at 3:30. Oh, guess what this show? She ain't walking. She ain't walking. She ain't walking. That's why they say it was employees in the kitchen when Kenneka walked through the kitchen at 3-some. Yeah, look at this shit. You see what I'm saying? You remember that Cali Breeze? You remember when I said, man, look, man, I believe that man is the police, bro. Because I watched that footage. Oh, there go another YouTuber. Ain't that the same YouTuber that said, oh, wait. Now look what's going on at 3:40 in the morning. 3:40 in the morning. Don't this shit hit different now at 3:41 in the morning? That's why they said it was employees in the kitchen. You see what I'm saying? And guess who you see in the kitchen? Ooh-wee. This the real threesome. This the real threesome. This is, you got the maintenance man down there. Oh, no wonder why he was talking cash shit behind the front desk. Yeah, this the real threesome. This ain't no goddamn 5. Look at this shit. Whoa. Ooh-wee. Let me find out his name, Nicholas Panoska. Woo, that's why they got coffee cups. That's why they got those coffee cups. Boy, when they said the maintenance man was involved, he finna come in there. Look, check this out. This said 3:44. Boy, this why the news ain't finna know. I'm telling you, the news ain't finna show y'all this shit, bro. Look at this shit. Look, woo, look at him. Look how he come in that job. Look, you see what he got in his hand? Damn. Now you know why you gonna need a maintenance man. Look, in the pool area, floating. That just show you that's how she was in that freezer wet. This at 3:44. This been to expose Miss Teresa, cause Miss Teresa talking about show the real tape, and this is what the real tape show. Yeah. Since she was cooperating with that police through everybody off, cause this what it gonna go back to at 3-some, walking in the freezer. Hold on, get look, check this out. Why this? Check this out. Look. Woo! Check this out. When King Raw was like, yeah, y'all know they foreigners and stuff. When King Raw was like, they foreigners and stuff. Look how Miss Teresa look like a foreigner on this motherfucker. Hold on. Look. Look how she dressed up like. Man, you know look, I was raised up in the hood. I ain't never seen nobody that put that on if they ain't Africa or a foreigner. Shit. Now you see how she finna play dumb, bruh? Look, now you finna, bro. Look.
I feel like I was asking for answers. I was seeking for answers, you know, and trying to find my daughter. I have not received help until now.
Let's be clear. Teresa indicates she's.
Boy, let me show you the real threesome. Cause guess what the news gonna show y'all at threesome, right? Check this out. Look, y'all. Ain't this what the news gonna show you at threesome? I want this one.
If you don't believe creating SOPs can take seconds instead of hours, you haven't tried Scribe. Check out the thousands of 5.
Also breaking tonight, hours of new video are released revealing more about a woman found dead in a hotel freezer. CBS 2's Adrina Bigas joins us now. So you poured through this video. What is it showing us?
36 hours of video, and this was just released to us a few hours ago.
It was just released to them 3 hours ago. Woo! Whoa! Boy, they got exclusive footage and look what they came out with. Guess what they had to cover up? Check this out. Now you see this. Bam! Hold up. Check this out. If you want to do a real comparison, like this here. Who telling the truth? Trey Gang or the news? Boy, let me find out, man, that I could debunk professional liars. Hold on. What if Trey Gang told y'all this at 3:45? You believe this footage, or you could believe this footage. Keep this in mind. Everybody like, yeah, this footage sure edited. This here ain't edited. Woo! It make a big difference, don't it? Don't that make a big difference? Hold on, y'all. What this? Hold on, y'all. Oh, okay, I see. Now look, this footage edited. Everybody know this footage edited. This footage ain't edited. Fuck you talking about? You don't got to tamper with this footage. You just got to fuck with the timestamp on this footage. Oh, you got to edit, make it look like, yeah, you know, somebody finna. And you want to know why they try to stage and make it look like a rape and all of this old stuff? According to the policeman, Frank, she came out the room, so it wasn't them freak ass niggas. So now you know, oh, that's why French K something left the Trey Gang, because he really was dry snitching on the police department. So I see what French K was doing. Oh, so look, to make a long story short, do you see the difference between three? What they telling you between these three? Let's play their narrative.
This video shows Kenneka Jenkins walking into the kitchen, but we never see her entering the freezer. And tonight, that is why her family is not satisfied with the theory that she walked into the freezer on her own. Surveillance video shows Kenneka Jenkins walking with friends at the Crowne Plaza Hotel early Saturday morning. We see her a few hours later by herself. At one point, she stumbles out of an elevator. Later, she repeatedly hits the wall walking down this hallway. Another camera catches her running into a stairwell and then catching her fall. Video time codes appear to show Kenneka roaming the hotel for over an hour.
She's trying to find her way, and no one from Crowne Plaza Hotel.
Watch this. Check this out. Can I share a video when he said, hold on, watch this. Check this out. Miss Teresa Lawyer. I don't want Jeffrey Feigl. Hold on, what the fuck is this? I'm finna make a point here. Watch this. Right here. No, not that one, not that one. Not this one. I know where I need to go to. I know where I need to go to. I gotta go to my playlist for this one. I need to go to Kenneka Jenkins, John. What that John there right here? I need to go all the way down. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Y'all just heard what he said. I'm finna use his own words against him, and that's why y'all finna see what y'all see on this footage. And I'm gonna end this live with that one, because I'm finna go out with a bang on that one. Hold on, let me find it. Boy, let me find it. Oh, that's the lady right there. Remind y'all, ain't that the lady that came out at 3-something in the morning at the bathroom? Hold on. Ain't this the same broad that I just showed y'all coming out the bathroom? And this the same broad. Key Jam? Yeah. Same broad that came out the bathroom at 3-something. Hold on, let me go back to the lawyer. And this finna expose her. Cause guess she gonna be on the footage. She on the footage. She on the footage at 3-something. When I showed y'all this shit. Hold on, where she at? I passed it a little bit, you know what I'm talking about? But I replay this, you know what I'm talking about? I replay it. Hold on, I need to go to, hold on, let me, I'm finna go out with a bang on this job. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on, why am I still acting funny? I should have went to my download, but I'm already here. So it look like it's coming up. It look like it's coming up. Hold on. That is gonna be right up in her. It ain't this one. It ain't this one. Hold on, I could play this one. Right quick, try to find what I'm
Good afternoon. This is a charge.
Yeah, I know it ain't that one. I knew it ain't that one. So I gotta go. I gotta keep going down. I'm getting hot. I believe I'm getting hot. Right here. Here it go. Check this out in its own words. Look.
Investigation. What have you learned?
What you learned?
We're still in the preliminary stages of the investigation, but we have gathered personal more video released, and it gives us a better picture of what was going on around the hotel. Amazingly, it seems to me that there were hotel staff that I would expect she should have encountered because she was in their actual operating kitchen. She was in several hotels, and we can see in various portions of the video footage employees that would have been in some of the same rooms that she was in as she kind of went through the rooms. So you see that they would have been in the same rooms. Did you see any interaction between her and hotel staff in the footage that you watched? I did not see any interaction, and we'll have to follow up with identifying the names of those employees to see exactly what they saw. But again, in the kitchen, for instance, you see someone in there mopping the kitchen. Also in the kitchen, you see someone who appears to be preparing some food. These are people who you would expect to have encountered her or at a minimum seen her as she went through the kitchen area.
So were they seen in the same frames as Kenneka, or they're just seen in other video in the kitchen around the same time? I'm just trying to piece together whether or not they actually may have laid eyes on her.
I cannot say that they laid eyes on her because they are not in the same frame.
Okay.
Again, that's going to require further investigation, but those are some of the things that we're looking into.
There's a man who says that he's working with the family, Andrew Holmes, who's a community activist. He claims.
Now y'all see that? This what you would see. This would be at 3-something in the morning when you get the staff in the kitchen. Right up in here. Right here. That's at 3-something. Look where they going. That's crazy. Bam. That's at 3:34. That's at 3:34.
The police department actually showed him some video, and that in that video he saw Kenneka walking into the freezer. Did you see any of that in the video that you were shown?
We did not, and that was a huge bone of contention, quite frankly. It's not clear to us why they showed video footage to anyone other than the family, before the family, and then that claim that he saw her walk into the freezer on video was something we.
That's crazy that they show y'all this at 3-something and they supposed to be showing y'all this at 3-something. Ain't that crazy? That's at 3:30. That's at 3:30. Look. Look. This at 3:30. Coffee cups in his hand. That's at 3:39. Ooh-wee. So now what it look like now? Oh yeah, they was in there preparing food and stuff. Whoa, look at who that is. That's why Miss Teresa was like, yeah, look, according to Miss Teresa, how did she end up in the freezer? But if you question her about this, you'll know the answer to that. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That I was putting this shit together. These people prefer, just like what he said, they were preferring food.
Requested and never received, and it appears that that was not accurate.
There's also, as we watch this video, obviously when we see Kenneka in the video earlier in the night versus the way we see her walking, she's clearly impaired later on in the evening. I know her mom says that friends said she had, quote, 1 cup. What was that 1 cup of? Was it alcohol? Is the thinking that perhaps that may have been laced with something?
Yeah, that's something that we have not been able to verify or validate yet. She is disoriented as you see her walk through the hallways, and that should have been apparent to anyone who encountered her. Let me also.
So the whole time they were covering up for the police, the sergeant, the black sergeant. Oh, that's who they really covering up for. Whoa. Look.
Also point out, you mentioned video footage of the kitchen. That is not the kitchen where she was ultimately found. She was found in an abandoned kitchen that apparently has not been used for years, but for some unknown reason, the hotel left available and accessible, and for an even stranger reason, they seem to leave a freezer on in the back corner of that abandoned kitchen. So those are things, trying to figure out exactly why it was accessible at all, and then secondly, why that freezer was on.
Right, and I know those are answers you're trying to get from the hotel. I want to point out we've reached out to the hotel as well. We have not heard back. I know you're also waiting on those toxicology reports, which will be very important. I don't want to let you go, though, without asking you how the family's doing. This has been an agonizing couple of weeks. I know they're trying to plan services. How is Kenneka's family?
And it's funny that what you see, what actually going on the footage, everybody in and out the kitchen, just like what Larry Rogers said, but they flashing you this surveillance footage, and she got a facial expression like, yeah, I'm just so concerned, like, oh my God, this is just a tragedy, like, shit, I never heard of this before. You shook me with this one. But they know what's going on. It's all, look. That's why they check this out. Don't it make sense that now we know that the police made a major role in this, and that's why we. Man, I could just see how they bruising authority. Just as like I was keeping my eye on her, right? That's why I said keep y'all eyes on her. Then bam, he finna, look, watch this. Bam. It might don't mean much, but this how intense he got. Man, look, he finna get on his ass. Shit. Boom! That's when he did. So I was like, okay, hours later, let's follow them and see what's going on. Oh, I got the parking lot footage a little bit. Look. That would make sense. Risco don't want to be seen on camera talking to Miss Teresa. He know exactly who she was. That's why he didn't try to approach Miss Teresa, because Miss Teresa approached him. Bam! Look, check this out. Woo-wee! Boom, look at the maintenance man coming dipping in that bitch. Wham! Look. This would be going on 5 o'clock in the morning. Like what Miss Teresa said in the beginning. Yeah, you know, I made it to the hotel around 5 something in the morning. Look at the police. They go to police. They go to police. Watch how they finna come in. Stop right there. Ooh-wee. Now don't come close, Miss Teresa. Hold on. Stay right there. Look, check them out. These two is the police. See how they stop and holler at him? Ooh-wee. So look. Guess what time is it? Look, you see how the sheriff finna come in that bitch? Oh man, I told y'all that boy finna come. They go to police. So I told you he was the police. That's what they look like. He get the call. That's why I shared this shit. I'm like, man, look, that ain't normal. I'm like, let me just put that out there. Look how he on the move. And Miss Teresa in the lobby. Shit. Shit. Watch what he finna do. Man, them suckers on the move. You don't see no female workers or nothing. Boy, you don't see no, it's all men's employees at this time. You don't think that's strange? You don't think that's strange now? That's why I had to go back to this footage. I said, let me go to this footage and see what's going on, Miss Teresa there. I'm like, shit, Miss Teresa there. Let me see why Miss Teresa would be there. Let me see what everybody doing on other cameras and shit. Hold on, let me see. Elevators opening up and shit. Oh yeah, okay, I know why. Say no more. Look like y'all going to the dumpsters now, ain't it? Remember when they were like the police, like, yeah, I'm about to dumpsters and shit. You got trash cans at this point. So when I go back to this footage, I said, oh, it make a lot of sense why Miss Teresa would be talking to that girl in that lobby. She's talking to that girl. You know, that they go that girl right there in that lobby. Guess who that girl is? This ain't got nothing to do. I'm trying to find my baby. It look like they trying to get an understanding on it, man. You see the hand movements? Yeah, it don't look like, did you see my baby? Oh my God, you see my baby? Let's go back to the, look. Let's go, what you think they were talking about? Watch this. Do it look like that? She asking her, hey, I'm so in distress. I'm looking for my baby. I'm looking for Kenneka Jenkins. Have you seen her? Look, man. Shit, man. We done fucked up. Man, look, we need to get this shit right. And then once you look, boom. If you look at those hand gestures, that's why Miss Teresa gonna be, get the phone call on her later on that day harassing their guests, cause she's still harassing the guests. That's an employee. Whoa! Mm-hmm. See that? And that's why that lady went to the front desk and got the crown. Whatever Miss Teresa told her, she broke her down, bruh. Look. That lady went to the front desk and cried. Look. Listen to what Lil Meek said. Watch this what Lil Meek said, right? Watch this. Listen to the timestamp when he said, don't this make sense, when he said what time Kenneka will actually die. Guess what time he gonna say?
He was trying to help me out the freezer. She done fucking herself up. Cut her foot. Just dropping shit. She was freaking out. When you drunk, you feel it.
But isn't it a button on this?
Shit negative 20. It don't matter if you use the button. Like, if you drunk as fuck, the way that boy is in that freezer, if you drunk as fuck, you're not gonna open it up. You're not even gonna think. She was more than drunk. Like, she was off that pill. Nobody know what that pill was, but the people
never was on the pill.
About that shit.
Never drugged.
So who slipped that in there and get why?
But then ain't nobody gonna snitch. The girl, you could see the girl that slipped, but ain't nobody on her. So what they saying is that basically she shouldn't have took the drink. You feel me? She shouldn't have took the drink. There's a sad incident that she died because accidents do happen like that. Motherfuckers get into the car.
So you seen her? Okay, what happened when she went out the room by herself and said like she forgot her phone or something like that?
Oh, they took her home.
They took her from
the friends. It's all the friends. I got an auntie that died like that. Friends got her drunk, burned her alive. Out of jealousy, she was a mom. So, everybody, that's the shit that was pissing me off because that social media shit, it clogged everybody head up. They think, oh, this what happened. Nah, that ain't what the fuck happened. Like, they're like, oh.
But how come in them videos that look like?
Friend that work here. I'm the only black motherfucker.
I know for a fact that her friend didn't work here because I watched another video she said she worked at like a hospital or something like that. But how come it looked in the security cameras? How come there was multiple red boxes and there was only her walking through? Like it was detecting another person walking. And then how come they took forever to release the videos and shit? Why wouldn't they just?
Because they didn't have evidence. Was nothing because when you go to the
it's not working.
So far as in this hotel probably being affiliated with another hotel, but the owner being affiliated with that traffic or the traffic shit, that's probably true. But
so on September the 14th at about 1:35 in the afternoon, the police went to conduct a door knock at one of the Crown Plaza Hotel employees' residence. Okay? When they got there, that employee was not there. Okay? They didn't went to this nigga house. Okay?
You know the owner?
The owner, he ain't gonna say Jewish, which I got.
Okay, he's definitely selling organs and shit.
On September the 15th at 9:30 in the morning, the police went back up to the hotel and spoke with another employee number 4. They met with this employee in the supervisor's office in housekeeping. The first fucking thing that this employee told them was that he did not want to speak in front of his supervisor. So he must have thought he was. Like his supervisor was going to be in on this interview. But I found that odd that was the very first thing that he said.
We gotta rewind all the way back to see who the friends were. Shit, they thought I was with her. Hell no, I went with that girl. I wasn't with her at all.
So you were working that night? She died?
At 5:30. She died like around 1 or 12.
Well,
Whoa, what time he said she died? What time? That's all. I just want y'all to hear this. That's all. That's all. Because look, check this out. If you go 54 keys, balls. Hold up. All I just want to show y'all what time she will be leaving out the lobby.
Things that had me kind of on the fence about it was the fact that the hair was different. And if you notice, Balls looked like she had on maybe some boots, like some Timbs or something, some wheat Timbs. And we knew that Kenneka came in the hotel wearing some Jordans, the Wolf Grays to be exact. So those were the two things that stood out, her hair and her shoes. So let's talk about it. We still riding. Now, assuming that that was Kenneka that we saw at 320, come in and talk.
320 is 120. Look. 320 is 120.
She got like around 1 or 12.
Woo! Boy, let me repeat that for the records.
We're working that night. She got like around 1 or 12.
Shit. Guess what time you finna see Monifa now? Popping up in the lobby, Tucson, panicking. Didn't even at Tucson. They said 2 o'clock on the dot. Woo, shit. And he said something, think about the police. Boy, think about what, hold on, wait a minute. Remind y'all, do I need to go to Keela Brown, Kenneka Jenkins? I ain't say nothing about no goddamn man, Google don't even understand me, guys. No. Hold on. What Keela Brown there? Oh, that's why I need to go right here. Check this out. That's why I need to go right here. What she said? What?
I done found 2 other niggas other than the niggas that y'all see in the reflection that was in there. That was at the motherfucking party. Cause now they talking about the bitch. Talking about the little bitch should have been taking dick and quit hollering about being raped. So y'all focusing on all the wrong little niggas. Them little niggas was in that hotel room. Girl, where the fuck her? And you know she's over 18 now. So you know as friends, we all thinking to ourselves, girl, where her grown ass go? Where this grown ass bitch could be? That's how our minds is thinking, because in reality, our minds don't go to danger. Our minds don't go to danger instantly. We thinking like we turning up, bitch. Bitch, where y'all bitches just leave out this room to? So nobody was taking her serious at that point. So that's where everybody don't understand. That's how it all went the fuck down. So now everybody done came. Yeah. So why they want to make it seem like she drugged out the room and she just disappeared? No, that bitch drugged her friend out the room for that nigga's satisfaction and then for her satisfaction. And when her and that nigga split up and when she came, she thought that they were gonna do what they do and they all was gonna meet back up and her friends gonna walk back up in that room together. But in reality, that nigga done went and did some dirty shit. And when she came back to link back with her friend, she didn't know where that friend was or that nigga went. By that time, she done left this nigga because now she wondering where her friend went. And now this nigga.
All that shit what she's saying was capped the whole time. She was just trying to support the narrative with the police. When they look at it like this, sure, the police needed them to be like, look, make the focus go back to the room because we don't want to be exposed of the real killer. But look what time she said that police gonna be there.
Got on that girl's jacket, and that's how they end up.
Hold on, let me find it.
She knew she had her fake shit going on, so of course it ain't turned up. So everybody's sitting there with awkward low vibes, turned up on it, and everybody's like, oh, I heard somebody say, help me, that girl did not. I don't want to think in my mind my best friend that drunk because in my head I'm thinking about dick. So I'm like, best friend, you ain't that fucked up. Come on, best friend, let's go. Many times, sweet time, best friend, I laid down. You done came and picked your best friend up and done brung her out here to the hallway. Now this is how I feel like it went. Girl ran off, brought her best friend out to the hallway for that other nigga's satisfaction. They all was on some finna leave type shit. Meantime, between time, she done ran off with the other dude, and she done got her best friend out to the hallway for the other nigga. This is what happened. She done got her best friend out to the hallway for the other nigga.
This ain't one
Meantime,
song.
the motherfucking between time, she done ducked off in a hotel. She done ducked off in a hotel with somebody else. Meantime, in between time, she done ducked off in a hotel with the other best friend. She done ducked off with the other nigga. Once she done probably got busted down for all we know by the ice machine or the vending machine. You know how hotels have little ducks and cuts, stairways, anything. She about left her best friend with that dude just to go get her satisfaction off with the other nigga off somewhere in the stairway or anything. And she came back looking for her best friend like, damn, where the fuck they go? Where the fuck they go? So now she looking for her best friend. She can't find her best friend. Meantime, between time, dude who she done ran off as fuck, he's done. He done dipped off. So now while she's around this hotel looking for her motherfucking friend, she can't find her friend because the nigga she left her motherfucking friend with done went and fucked your friend and your friend was somewhere fighting back. And this nigga probably done accidentally choked that baby out and done choked that little girl to death. Fucked that little baby.
And it was the police. So look at it like this here. The police got to make it look like it was one of them niggas in the room, but that's the whole time it was the police doing this to her. And that's what Miss Teresa know. Y'all ain't heard what he said before she got taught. The police girl, she act like she ain't heard it. She heard it. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? Check this out. Don't this sound accurate? If all of this going on, she gonna mention the police showed up at one time and all this about be going down there 3 some. But it actually is at 1 some. That's why Leonora was like, yeah, you know, I got 5 more other videos covering for the police. Covering for the sergeant. Look.
Got his rocks off and didn't know what to do with that little girl and drugged that little girl. She ain't give no keys or none of that. They already said the freezer was unoccupied. That's what they already done said. That little girl was off duty, so she didn't have no keys to the hotel. She didn't have access to the things that y'all are trying to say she had access to. That little nigga went off while they was off doing their thing. He went off and did what he did with that little girl, and that girl probably was like, you don't want some fighting back shit. He about choked her out and took her shit and ended up choking that little baby to death and ended up didn't know, got nervous, drugged that little girl off somewhere, probably synced that motherfucking refrigerator that was unoccupied, put her in there, and then turned it on. You feel me? So that she wouldn't stink or make a smell or something. Come on now, that little nigga turned on the fucking freezer that wasn't turned on for how long? Come on now. So while you running around here looking for your friend, this nigga done hurry up and put your friend in the freezer, my nigga, and done call this homie, and you not knowing because the homie done split up from you. He done called this homie like, hey nigga, where you at, nigga? What up, nigga, where you at? He like, oh nigga, where you at? You and Shorty done? He about telling his homie like, yeah, we done. Where you?
So that sound like he called for bag up. Peep the game what the nigga finna say in the background. He finna mention the police.
Meet me at the door. They done met up at the car. Now these niggas gone. You come back and return to the hotel room. Now, shut up. No, shut up. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Told you.
Fuck all that.
Told you. Told you. And it's this a coincidence when all of this going down and she's telling you who the little nigga was? The little nigga is the police. The sergeant that Jedediah got on video. And guess what time this is gonna be going on? At 1 something in the morning. Like what Lil Meek said. If you can't put what Lil Meek said, yeah, this going down there at 1 something in the morning. Oh. You said what? She was in the freezer at 1 something in the morning. And she look.
You to my nigga and done call his homie, and you not knowing that the homie done split up from you. He done called his homie like, hey nigga, where you at, nigga? What up, nigga, where you at? He like, oh nigga, where you at? You and Shorty done? He about telling his homie like, yeah, we done. Where you? Meet me at the door. They done met up at the car. Now these niggas gone. You come back and return to the hotel room. Now, shut up. No, shut up. No. No. Fuck all that, cause this is the truth. Now, it's hype.
Why this?
So while she looking for her friend, it's already turned the fuck up at the hotel.
What time?
It's turned up. Now the police done came. So the police thinking it's a party because it's a bunch of...
Look, it's still at 1 something in the morning. When it all boils down, it's still at 1 something in the morning. Watch this.
Kids in the midst of commotion. She done run back to the hotel room now. Police there and all types of shit now. She come back in the hotel room. Y'all come on, it's time to go. Now everybody's scattering, getting up. Now the girl makes a status. She's like, girl, you don't give a fuck about your best. She's like, shut up, because when I told y'all to help me look for her, wasn't nobody trying to help me.
So boom. Guess what the first thing they did? Jumped on their phone and be like, man, I can't find her. And they already know she was murdered by who? Rosemont Police Department. Whoa! So the whole time, Miss Teresa, Leonora, everybody that had something to do with it, they cover up for that sergeant, and he was the police. That's why it all makes sense when you hear me, Teresa, talking about, yeah, this is a police matter. This is a police matter. The police were there. They look. Why he will be doing whatever he doing with Kenneka. She run, and guess who go back to the room? Bree go back to the room, because guess who's still gonna be down there with Kenneka? The best friend. Guess what, Monique and Shemaya still in the room. Whoa! Since the police know they were doing drugs, smoking and blowing cocaine and doing heroin and all this, say she put drugs in her system. That's why they try to make that girl look like a junkie. And then check this out. All the brawls that were telling you what happened to Kenneka ain't nothing but prostitutes that tricking out with the police department. That's all they did. Them just some hoes tricking out to some police niggas. Ended up like, damn, these niggas got some money and they got power. Damn, they could put me in position, yeah. Even Miss Teresa, because she said she been down before, but nobody don't want her old ass no more. Did you see her chest? Motherfucker look like rotten grapes on that motherfucker. Ain't nothing plot. She felt left out. Yeah, that little money there, you know what I'm saying? Let me get me some triple T titties, you know what I'm talking about? Look, listen to this shit now.
Me look for her. So meantime, in between time, y'all, this is at 3 something in the morning. This is at 3 something in the morning.
And this go back to 3 something is 1 something.
Hell no, I went with that girl.
So you were working that night? You died?
5:30. She died like around 1 or 12.
Well, everyone was in this hotel scared.
So you mean to tell me with somebody killing somebody at one some, just as somebody having sex with somebody at one some against their will at one some? You think it's finna take 2 hours to kill that person to 3 some? No. It's finna happen immediately at one some, and guess what? 3 o'clock gonna play a role in? What I just showed y'all with the employees in the fucking kitchen. That's why they was in that motherfucking kitchen. Boy, that's why they was in their kitchen. It was a distraction. It was a distraction, bro. Look.
Like, I feel like everything's a camera. And then you walking behind me and shit, I'm in the basement, I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna push me into a private room. It's over with.
That's people that's coming here. The police would have been heavy on y'all. That's the police heavy around. But
I just wanted to see for myself, like, how did she, I don't understand how she walked into a freezer.
she walked in drunk actions. Because
So even when it was cold, she didn't turn around. So she just felt the cold and was.
So look. That's why everybody agreed to tell the narrative, be like, yeah, I think something happened in that room. She was drugged up and all of this old stuff, and got people actually believing it. Cause it will fit the narrative if that what kind of background they come from. Everybody don't just do what, you know what I'm saying, what everybody else do. Look how police looking at it like this here. We tricking out with these dumbass hoes. And goddamn it, it went a little too far. So what we're gonna do and be like, look, we're gonna put the narrative off on y'all. They gonna be scared as hell, like, hell no, don't do it. They be like, but look, you gotta look at it. We the police. You'll never get locked up. You can let people think like that. You ain't like that, like, oh yeah, man, like this gonna make a difference. No. Just go out there and just say, man, the little niggas in the room and all this old stuff, and whoever put that pill in their drink was some freak ass nigga. So if you look at what a hoe is, this is what a hoe would do. A hoe lie. That's in the game when it comes to pimping and horn. That's all it is. And this relationship, I won't even be surprised if this shit was going on, goddamn it, in Miss Teresa generation when she was about 14, 15. Probably started out with her grandmama. You know what I'm saying? You can tell about all the pictures. Man, you know, man, this shit finna make me so mad. Cause this man saying she died between the hours of 12 and 1. It ain't gonna be 12, it's gonna be at 1 some. If she just left out the lobby with dude at 1 some, guess what? She damn near gonna be dead before 2 o'clock. Now you got another hour and a half. So you to have her come up with a narrative. Oh, she walked in the freezer, but then when they play, come on, bro, this shit's so stupid to me, man. Look.
Y'all, this is when the police came and all that. This was at 3-something in the morning. The police came. So the girl was like, "Bitch, we didn't help you look for her because you came back on some like you was joking or shit. We didn't know to take you serious. You took your friend up out of here and you didn't come back with her." So everybody's wondering, like, everybody knew what was going on. No, nobody know what's going on because all they know is that that bitch came and took her friend up out of there off that bed and ran her ass up out of there. And she came and returned, like, in her mind, she like, so-and-so didn't return back to the room. They're like, no, bitch. You took her out of here, bitch. Where'd she go? She's like, girl, help me look for her. And they looking at her, bitch, like, what the fuck you mean help you look for her? Girl, where the fuck her?
So it was never a search. The search was a distraction of a cover-up. So when you think it's search, that gives them to fuck with your man, but like, yeah, when you see them in the hallway, Monique and them, they searching for her. In reality, you ain't searching. It was in the midst of the cover-up, you gotta say it's a search. Because you need to cover up for that hour. You need to cover up for that hour. So basically, if you go back to that footage again, you're going to be like, damn. The murder scene going to be here. And it took these people 2 hours to move the body. So, whatever the murder scene was at, she laid there for 2 hours. Until they moved her to the kitchen. So if she got murdered at the pool area between the hours of 1, now you see why they were talking about, oh, you see somebody carrying Kenneka around 3 o'clock? I would look like somebody carrying her. But yeah, gang. Man, I'm finna get on up about this junk, cause this shit really fucking with me. It's really fucking with me, bro, cause you don't see it now. If you don't see it, just say, I don't see it, Trey Gang. If you don't see it right now, bro, if you don't see this shit right now, man, no wonder why they getting away with this shit. Shit, no wonder why this shit go viral. Man, I'm out, y'all.